The New England Patriots then against the Denver Broncos not played each other this year. As I said, Sky was at the game against Houston Texans where they won 28-16. In the wild card, they played the LA Chargers, won that 16-3. First time in the AFC Championship since 2018, and first time for head coach Mike Vrabel since 2019 when he was with the Tennessee Titans. Firstly, Sky, what was it like? It was bloody cold. I could tell that from the screen.
Mate, it was incredible. I mean, like, I know obviously with the cold, I think I wanted that for the playoff game. Like I said to you, when I was driving through to stay with my friends on the Saturday night and the snow was falling, I was like, if this settles, like this will just be the perfect weekend because, you know, you think about the famous game of the Patriots Raiders in the snow or just like, you know, the East Coast in general, playoff weather. You know, everyone loves the glitz and glamour of the Super Bowl. And I think you hear me say a lot that I feel like we're robbed of that a bit now, maybe some of those colder Super Bowls. So when it is an East Coast team that goes deep or just an area in the US where it is that type of temperature, it was amazing. The stadium was electric, you know, to hear the outfield song like Lose Your Love Tonight live, Living on a Prayer. Like there's been videos going around of like just the whole of Gillette in unison. Yeah, I mean, as a Patriots fan, it feels almost ridiculous to say, you know, like given the dry spell that we had, the drought, because it has only been a few years. But then, you know, naturally, when a team is as successful as the Patriots are, you're longing for that quicker than maybe others are. There's that expectation to turn it around.
You say it's only been a few years, but it's been 8 years.
Yeah, but I mean, like we made the playoffs with Mac Jones, is what I'm like. You know, still that.
Yeah,
year.
but I mean, like actually being relevant.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so it made me feel better and not be a typical.
Yeah, no, I was. So I've done a preview for it, obviously, and when I was going through it, I was looking through, and I didn't realize it had been 8 years. I was really surprised it had been as long as it had. It just goes to show how quick it goes. Sorry,
pre-COVID was the last.
Pre-COVID, yeah,
was the last time we were in that Super Bowl, but. You know, COVID can't change everything, guys. The Pats are still relevant. So, yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, we'll probably go into in the game a bit more detail, but I feel like from people who've texted me watching it back home, it was an enjoyable game, back and forth. You know, a lot of turnovers, a lot of possessions for both teams, especially in the first half.
What was that like in the ground, the turnovers?
Surprise, like everybody was like, now's our chance to strike. Oh no, Will Anderson's there again. Like he was amazing. Like from a non-Patriots perspective, he was so good to see live. We've said that when we watched the Broncos Jets in London, that you appreciate defensive stuff more when you're there in person. So to see how quick he gets to the quarterback was pretty impressive. But yeah, I think especially that first half with the back and forth with the turnovers, it was like something we very rarely see. Even in the playoffs when the defenses step up.
Would you say this is a double-ended question, really? Did the Pats play as good as you thought they would, because you've not seen them this season yet, have you?
Sort of week 2, the win against very early though against Miami.
Yeah, very early. So did they live up to the hype of seeing them live and how good they've been? And then on the flip side of it, from our point of view. We did a piece on it on the Tuesday show with the Houston Texans and what a mess it fit. Well, not a mess, but the CJ Stroud conundrum, what they do about that. Obviously, their defense has been headline lights out all year. Was it like, yeah, we're playing really well, but this is still the Texans defense, even though they're not playing that well? Did they look as bad as it felt like they were playing on telly? The absence of Schultz and Collins as well, like that, was it quite obvious when you were there?
Yeah, I feel like offensively there clearly were woes, and you know you did have a few guys around the ground, like locals, saying Stroud is awful. But I think for him, the weather as well. Like people can make whatever narrative they want. Like we're at this point in the season now where like the Pats defense has had 72 pressures in 2 games, and you saw that live. I don't care how good you are or bad. Like we've seen Drake May even have, I think 6 turnovers off 10 sacks. And we're talking about the potential league MVP. So I do think some of the narrative has been a bit harsh on Stroud because again, like he was missing 2 of his reliable guys. He's obviously nowhere near what he did in his rookie of the year campaign. But I just think that's playoff football. Like we saw 2 teams who are very strong defensively and that lived up to the expectation. And then as much as maybe our offense didn't click as much as maybe expected, I think the hype of Drake May getting it done in the key moments did. He's done what he has done all season in terms of every metric he leads alludes to getting it done on 3rd and 4th down. He did that in the key moments.
Adam, you have been a flag bearer, standard bearer, a pillar of the community in terms of the scheduling that the New England Patriots have had. And that's not really gone away in the playoffs, has it? Because they played a Chargers team with barely an O-line because they're all injured. They play a Texans team with none of their star receivers. And then they're going to play a Denver team without their starting quarterback. Is this the easiest route to the Super Bowl ever?
I think that's been said, isn't it, by many people, that it's the easiest route to the Super Bowl ever. I mean, I have to say, I do kind of egg this up a little bit just to wind him up, but he deserves it, so it's okay. Look, realistically, I think what's nice to see from the Patriots side of things is that the defense has actually been better than what I think a lot of people probably thought that it was going to be in the playoffs as well. So that is definitely a positive for them. But they haven't really played, again, it's that thing where it's like CJ Stroud, you can come out and say about the weather. And obviously the weather affected everyone. I mean, Drake May fumbled the ball, 3-4 times?
Yeah.
So it's like, it would probably affect anyone in that way. But CJ Stroud was pretty dire against the Steelers as well in the previous game. So let's not make it out as though this guy is the reason that it's all fallen apart is just because of the weather. It's like, it's what was it, 7 turnovers or 7 interceptions in 2 games? It's not a lot. I think what's nice to see is that although it has been an easy schedule and it has been an easy run in respect of who they've played in the playoffs, at least they're putting up points against strong defenses. So I think that's probably the one sort of shining light you can kind of put on the Patriots, that they are putting up points against that Texans defense. They were still in that game in the 3rd quarter easily. They were bringing it back. And to be brutally honest, all you needed was some semi-competent quarterback out there, and you could quite easily have got a different result. And I think that kind of goes to show that the Patriots are not completely there yet, and that they are still a little bit away, but at the same time, they are sort of showing signs of getting better. And I think you can see that they are going up against strong defenses and they are still able to put points on them, even though that team's offense hasn't been great. So it's not as bad, I don't think, as what a lot of people are making out.
Can I just say on top of that, I know usually Adam hates my stats and I loved what he said.
I do hate most of your stats, it's true.
They said that Drake May will be the first quarterback to face, 3 top 5 defenses since Cam Newton in that 2015 season. No one's ever beaten 3 top 5 defenses in a playoff run ever. And I don't know. I mean, Texans 1, Broncos 2, Chargers 5. I would assume the Seahawks are 3rd or 4th. Yeah, so I think if it comes to a point where we played Seattle in the Super Bowl and won that, like Adam said, whatever narrative you want to make about the regular season, we've seen many great teams over the years be great regular season teams, are probably better on paper than this Patriots team, but then fall in the playoffs, regardless of who they've played. So to get to the championship game, I mean, the Super Bowl, not without getting ahead of myself, but the Super Bowl would be more the test of either the Pats lost respectably to a great Seattle defense or, a balanced Rams team. There's at least a narrative of they were competitive. If it ended with us losing the blowout, well, you know what everyone's going to say then. The first good team you played, that happened. So, yeah, Vrabel, and then we obviously want to keep out the noise of that and just get things done on Sunday. It's still not an easy game in Mile High, but one away.
I think I was going to ask Adam this, but I asked you all the questions. I'll just put my 50p in for once. I say for once, like I never put in. I have to. The biggest thing I'm really enjoying about the Patriots at the minute is Drake May's really unfazed by the adversity of stuff. You know, like he had them turnovers, and it's very easy in these sort of games just to be like, what, you know, this is a great defense. Like, you know, sort of play into yourself. And he's not done that in either of the games. And he's not done that much this season, I don't think, either, which is, you know, it's commendable to him. But playoff football is different football, as Sky said, compared to the regular season. And he's not. He's come back out. He's put points up. He's played confidently. And that's what the greats do. You know, the greats shrug it off and go. Shrug it off and go again. And it's really impressed me how well he's done that throughout these two games. And like you said, you know, when you've got CJ Stroud on the other side who's turn the ball over every left, right, and center, and then he's getting the ball thinking, I'm getting all these opportunities, but then turns the ball, that can get you, you know, that can get a defense back up as well. You know, they'd be like, you know, we're getting the ball back for you, and you're doing nothing. Well, Drake May didn't do nothing. He then went back out there and put points up and kept consistent with it. And I think it's that you've got to play that style of football to win playoff games, and you've got to be that mentality and that style of player. And I don't think we've ever doubted Drake May's got it. He is the it factor. He's going to be the it factor for the New England Patriots for a very long time. And it's very, very lucky that you guys have really only had a couple. I know it's a couple of down years. I know it's 8 years, but like you've only had a couple of down years of a bit of adversity. Really, 8 years from Brady into May. It's not that long, really. In reality, it is in sports years, I suppose. But in terms of the grand scheme of it, it's quite a quick turnaround. And under Mike Vrabel's tutorage with this team, it's just going to get better and better and better. And yes, next season it's going to be the schedule. It's going to be harder. It's going to be more testing. Okay, I don't think maybe you do get what you in the end 14 wins. Maybe you don't get 14 wins next season, but I still think this team's here to stay. Mm-hmm. And like all four of these teams are, I think in this playoff bracket, they're all here to stay. I can't see. I maybe see Denver downturning a little bit potentially, but we'd have to see into the next season.